What should have been 2 minutes of fun on the Dragon Challenge roller coaster would leave one man blind after an accident at Universal Studios. As it would turn out though, this was just one in a string of serious incidents involving the coaster. This is the story of the Dragon Challenge roller coaster accident. Open to the public on June 7th, 1990, Universal Studios in Orlando is the second oldest of the Universal theme parks. Looking to rival Disney World, the idea was first raised in 1982 as a partnership project with Paramount Pictures. When the partnership with Paramount failed to come together, the idea of the park was put on hold. By 1987, however, plans for Universal Studios in Florida were back on the table. Costing more than $600 million or roughly $1.5 billion in today's money, it was themed to movies, television, and other aspects of the entertainment industry. During the early 1990s, Universal Studios in Florida doubled as both a theme park and an active production studio. A lack of interest by directors to film on site, however, meant the production aspect was soon discontinued. With rides and attractions designed around popular Hollywood films such as Jaws, Back to the Future, E.T., and even The Simpsons, although a long way short of the 50 million visitors to Walt Disney World down the road, Universal Studios in Florida hosts around 10 million guests each year. In 1997, Universal announced a new roller coaster soon to be constructed, the Dueling Dragons. Designed by Bolliger and Mabillard, the Dueling Dragons were a pair of intertwined steel-inverted coasters. Open to the public in 1999, guests arriving at the station would choose to ride one of the two coasters, the Fire Dragon or the Ice Dragon. Dispatched at the same time, the two coasters followed a similar but slightly different layout. Reaching a top speed of 60 miles or 100 kilometers per hour, both rides featured 5 inversions and a runtime of 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Owing mainly to the dueling aspect, which many saw as a race between the two coasters, the ride was well received and consistently ranked high on the annual Golden Ticket Awards. However, as popular and unique as the ride was, it was involved in a few accidents that would ultimately, in the end, lead to its closure. On July 1st, 2009, the first of these accidents would occur. Universal technician Douglas Babcock was inadvertently put in harm's way while performing foundation checks directly under the path of the Dueling Dragons roller coaster. Apparently unaware of the technician's presence, a ride operator sent an empty train away on its morning test run. In a scenario tragically seen far too often involving inverted roller coasters, as the empty train passed above, Mr. Babcock was struck in the head by the suspended front car of the Dueling Dragon roller coaster. Other similar accidents usually involve guests who wander into restricted areas to collect wallets or cell phones. As demonstrated in my previous videos, almost all are fatal. However, on this occasion, although seriously injured, spending almost a week in hospital, he managed to make a full recovery. One might say the victim of this incident was lucky to walk away alive. The next accident, 2 years later, is definitely one of the most unlucky I've discussed on this channel. By the summer of 2010, the Dueling Dragons roller coaster had just completed a minor refurbishment, re-emerging as the Dragon Challenge. Essentially the exact same coaster, it was now part of the new Wizarding World of Harry Potter section. On July 31st, 2011, 52-year-old holidaymaker Carlos Montalvo, along with his wife, visited Universal Studios in Orlando. Traveling from Puerto Rico, Carlos, a nurse by trade, was unfortunately blind in his left eye due to a previous condition. Theme parks across the world encourage guests, and in some cases, strictly enforce no loose items in pockets that could potentially come free and collide with other riders. However, such rules are often disregarded. At around 5 PM, Carlos and his wife boarded the front seats of the Dragon Challenge roller coaster. During the 2 minutes and 25-second ride, there are 3 near-miss encounters where the trains of each dragon almost collide. It was on the so-called near-miss encounter on the vertical loop section where what should have been 2 minutes of fun would turn to a lifelong disability. As the 2 coasters passed within inches of each other, an unknown loose item struck Carlos Montalvo in his one good eye. In the immediate aftermath of the incident, Mr. Montalvo was rushed to hospital. Suffering a lacerated right eye, he had emergency surgery in an attempt to save his sight. Speaking with media following the surgery, Mr. Montalvo's sister, Milagros Montalvo, said doctors would monitor her brother's recovery over the following 3 weeks. However, a continued deterioration meant that ultimately, in the end, it had to be removed. For Carlos Montalvo, this was a devastating blow. Already blind in his left eye, now losing his right one, he was now left without sight. In response to the incident, Universal insisted the ride was safe and urged riders to follow the rules regarding loose items in their pockets. However, less than 2 weeks following the Carlos Montalvo accident, the ride was involved in a similar, albeit less serious, incident. On August 10, 2011, 19-year-old John Wilson was struck in the face by a loose item while riding the Dragon Challenge roller coaster. Following the 2 incidents and facing increased media spotlight, Universal decided to stop launching the coasters at the same time, pitching it as a high-speed chase instead of a high-speed race. Universal spokesman Tom Schroeder said in regards to the change, "We believe this is the best path forward for our guests and for the attraction." Universal emphasized that safety was its #1 priority. For many guests though, without the racing aspect, the appeal of the ride had faded, and the ride attendance began to drop. And following years of decline, Dragon Challenge closed in 2017.